Hey, what's going on? It's Matt. It's Tuesday night, and it's been a rough, I don't know, 12, 24, 36 hours. It's been a rough day and a half here in Bismarck after getting the phone call yesterday. Frantic phone calls from both my parents back in Essexville right around noon, 1 o'clock. I missed the calls and had two voicemails that basically just said, call us right away. So, you know that's not good when you get those voicemails. So, I called my dad, and I could tell by his voice that he had some bad news, and he did. He told me that my grandfather Ray Class had passed away. He took a nap and didn't wake back up, and it's really tough for me to wrap my head around that because throughout my adult life he's been you know in and out of the hospital, but not like really sick. Like he's just had problems, but he's always been there. He's always gotten out of it and been okay. And then now obviously he's gone. So the next time I go home, and I don't know when that's going to be, he's not going to be there. And I was lucky enough to grow up with three sets of grandparents. My grandparents got divorced really, really early in my life. I mean, before I was born. Uh, so I've had three sets of grandparents my entire life, and now all three of my grandfathers are gone. And it's I don't know that it's sank in yet that he won't be there when I go home again. So like I said, it's been tough. Obviously, I'm here alone in Bismarck, and as much as my coworkers, I love them to death, and my buddies here, it doesn't really substitute the fact that my family is not here and I'm not with them. So I thought that I would send this to them and tell a quick story about my grandpa that I will never forget. And there are a ton of them, but this one always stuck with me, and this is one that I always enjoyed telling my friends because I think it's funny, and hopefully you do too. Every Christmas Eve, we would always celebrate at my grandparents' house with my grandpa Ray, who just passed away, and my grandma Joyce. And they would always book a Santa Claus, and the whole family would come into town. I've got cousins in Colorado and Florida, and my sister's in Tennessee, and everybody would do their best to come home for this to celebrate. And whenever we did the Santa Claus portion of the evening, my grandfather would go into the kitchen and sit at the table and break out the bottle of whiskey and start pouring himself some drinks. And one year I was walking through the kitchen and he stopped me and he said, "Matthew, let's have a drink." And he's sitting there drinking Black Velvet. I was like, that sounds horrible. Let's not do that. But I didn't have much of a choice. It's Grandpa, and you do what he says. So I sat down and had a drink of Black Velvet with him. It was about that time that my cousin Jason walked in with a bottle of Baron Jaeger that I knew he was bringing. It's a honey liqueur and liqueur. That sounds fancy. A honey liquor, and it's good if you've never had it. You can give it a try. So my cousin Jason was like, "Well, Grandpa, let's try this." So we poured out shots for myself, my cousin Jason, my uncle Rick, my dad, and my grandpa. We all do them, and my grandpa doesn't flinch. You could probably give him a shot of, I don't know, toilet water, and he'd just drink it like it wouldn't matter. So he does the shot, no flinch. He's like, "All right, pussies, I've got something for you." And he reaches up into the top cabinet above the fridge and breaks out the mason jar of Tennessee moonshine. And this isn't store-bought moonshine. This isn't, manufactured in a factory moonshine or, whatever else you can get. This is straight, legitimate mason jar, backwoods Tennessee moonshine. And it smells like pure gasoline and tastes even worse. And so he pours out a shot for all of us, and he does it like it's not even an issue. Like it's a glass of water or something. My dad, my uncle do it, and this is the first time I've had it, and I drink it and I start coughing up a lung because again it tastes like pure gasoline. And just his reaction to my reaction to drinking moonshine was probably one of the funniest things in my life, and I will never forget it. It's because he was such an intimidating guy. He was a big guy. He was always seemed always very agitated with everything, and but always had a sarcastic comment and always, all that stuff. But to see him laughing and joking around when I did that is something I'll never forget, and something I'll miss when I, go home and he's not there this next time. With that said, I guess this part of the video is basically for my family. After speaking with my mom and dad and Grandma Joyce yesterday, I will not be coming home for the funeral or for the memorial. They said that if Grandpa found out that I canceled all my plans in Vegas with all my friends, that he'd be pretty pissed off and would be furious with me that I canceled those plans and spent a ton of money to come home. So they told me to just go to Vegas, and when I get there, have some whiskey for Grandpa, which is what I'm going to do and what I'm doing right now. So that's that. Grandpa, I will miss you. Family back home, I miss you guys too. I love you, and I will see you soon. Rest in peace.